Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you. My name is Chelsea and welcome to my channel. If you have never been here before, I am an American Muslim revert. Alhamdulillah, thank God. I am also a mother and a designer, and I talk about spirituality. I do DIYs, I talk about mommyhood here on my channel, and today is going to be one of my religious videos. For me, I find that I do have a fair bit of girls who like to follow me who are either Christians or non-Muslims, and they're always having questions for me about my faith, especially especially being a Western Muslim that lives in America and decides to cover and everything like that. So today I'm going to kind of bring up a topic that is really misunderstood, especially in the West. I personally feel like, you know, in a time where you find that so many cultures are mixing and interracial relationships are thriving, you still see an abundance of ignorance and discriminations for different cultures and religions. You can turn on any stand-up comedy show and see somebody making fun of another person for either their culture, the way they look, the way that they talk. Now, of course, these shouldn't be taken very seriously and are meant to be lighthearted and spread love and humor or whatever around the world. It still kind of gives off this idea that you can jokingly or innocently make fun of people for what they believe in or what they're called or the cultural backgrounds that they come from. Now, people, of course, understand that everybody speaks a different language all over the world. And with that understanding, there's also an understanding that for most every word in a language, there is going to be some type of a translation. For example, the word God in English is Allah in Arabic. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who want to debate this, but at the end of the day, when you go to Middle Eastern countries or countries that speak Arabic, even the non-Muslims who are praying to God call God Allah. We also must understand that English is still a very new language in comparison to a lot of languages that have been around for a very, very long time. And because of this, their vocabulary is much more extensive, which also means that their definitions are probably much more extensive. And because of that, today I want to confront one of the two most misunderstood terms here in the West when it comes to talking about religion and culture, etc., and that is Islam and Muslim. Now, of course, if you look up the word Islam on Google, it will pretty much state that it is a religion, a monotheistic faith that is revered and revealed by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May peace and blessings be upon him. Now, although this is true, the word Islam in Arabic is so much more extensive and it has such a beautiful meaning to it. Islam is not just a religion, it's so much more. And of course, when you look up the term Muslim, it simply states people who follow the religion of Islam. But Muslims are more than just somebody who follows Islam.
Mama, the
Oh yeah, who is that?
Mommy.
This is my son, Ali.
Mama.
Yeah, Mama. And who's that?
Daddy.
And Daddy. Good boy. Now, with the hate and misunderstanding of Islam and Muslims are especially on the rise these days. Yes, Baba.
The mommy.
These terms have almost become something to fear, something to loathe, and something to make jokes about. There's a lot of people who are seeking belief in God, but are almost being turned away about the thought of even looking into Islam or being a Muslim because of the negative connotation that's attached to it. So today I really truly want to discuss what the word Islam and what the word Muslim really means. Now, if you refer to the Arabic definition of what Islam is, it is submission and humbling oneself. It is obeying commands without objection. It's sincerely worshiping Allah, God alone, with no partners, no sons, We must always believe what God says. And lastly, Islam was the religion that was presented by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may peace and blessings be upon him, by his revelation from Allah. Now let's go ahead and look at the word Muslim. For this definition, I'd like to refer to the Quran because I just feel that God's translation of what the word Muslim means is much more superior than any human can really come up with. A Muslim is one who completely surrenders to the will of Allah, God. We believe in His oneness with no intercessors or sons. I'd like to refer to a surah, a chapter within the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Kul hu lahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yawlid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Now this directly translates to say, He is Allah, the one and only, Allah the eternal, the absolute. He begetteth not, nor is He begotten, and there is none like unto Him. Today, a Muslim is someone who follows Islam, which was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, by the will of Allah. But if we study religious history, we come to find out that Abraham preached the oneness of God, that Moses did the same and even established it in the 10 Commandments. Commandment number 1, worship one God, only God. From my biblical research, my biblical study, I've also come to believe that Jesus did the same. Jesus prayed to God on his face, asking Him for forgiveness. He also preached that others pray to God and not him. So, if a Muslim is considered one who surrenders their self to the will of Allah and preaches the oneness of God, of Allah, then wouldn't that make all of our past messengers, all of our past prophets, technically, in the Arabic terms, a Muslim? Someone who surrenders and submits their will to Allah, somebody who is a slave to God and preaches the oneness of God. Allah even refers to all of the messengers and prophets in the Quran many times as Muslims because of their preaching of one God and submitting to Him. Now, of course, with that said, anyone can call themselves a Muslim, but one who is truly a Muslim must follow the Quran as closely as they can in their life, with also considering the life of our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may peace and blessings be upon him, was an amazing example of a righteous man. He was an amazing example not only as a religious man, a prophet, a messenger, but as a friend, as a father, as a husband. Muslims must also say their declaration of faith, which is their shahada, and abide by the 5 pillars of Islam, the first one being their shahada, their second being establishing their 5 prayers a day. As Muslims, we must also give charity to the poor, to orphans, to the homeless, to our family members who are in need. We're also supposed to make a pilgrimage to Mecca, if we can, if possible, at least once in our lifetime. We also must fast in the month of Ramadan and whenever we can. It was said that the Prophet ﷺ fast continuously throughout the year. Muslims are also taught to follow a certain code of conduct. This code of conduct can lead out into our business life and our everyday affairs. It extends to how we act as mothers, as sisters, as friends, as wives and husbands, as children to our parents. This also extends out to people in our community, the way that we're supposed to conduct ourselves in public, the way that we're supposed to care for others, humanity, care for animals, care for our earth. This is not something small that should be left behind when considering yourself a Muslim. So as you can see, Islam is not just a religion, and being a Muslim is not just being somebody who follows the religion of Islam. It's so much more than that. It's not something to fear or loathe or even joke about. It's something to love and respect and learn about and enjoy. Now, I hope that I was able to shed some light on anybody out there who is sincerely looking for education within Islam. I am only here by the will of Allah to help anybody who is sincerely looking for help and guidance. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, I would love it if you like it, leave a comment below, and even subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I do have kind of a large variety of videos, and I'm always taking suggestions for other videos. Inshallah, God willing, I talk to you guys later, and adios. Like always. I'm not Spanish. I just always say adios. I think it's because I live in Florida. So there's a lot of Boricuas here. Boricua, oh, Boricua, eh.